What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to another episode of our Football Manager Let's Play here with Liverpool. This is episode 2. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the first episode. If you missed it, go check it out. Playlist for this series, top of the description as always. Anyway, today we're going to be taking on Chelsea. We're going to cover a few things behind the scenes in terms of my training, the staff that I've brought in, all that good stuff. But before we begin, I've got to show you something mad that happened. So if we look at our kind of actual finances here, you can see we have an overall balance of £26 million. And actually, during the summer, I managed to lower our wage total by about £200,000 in terms of we were given £200,000 to spend, and in the end we didn't spend any of it. So our budget actually kind of dropped as I made player changes. What you might notice here is our transfer budget is £37 million. How did that happen, Jack? Well, I didn't sell anyone. I decided after the first game, things going quite well, to ask the board, can I have some more money, please? And as you can see, FSG turned around and went, here's £37 million, spend it wisely. I've not decided how we're going to spend this money yet. It only arrived yesterday. I also got an increase in the wage budget, only a slight amount, but it leaves me with a lot of money to bring in, potentially to bring in one or two players, or maybe to invest in even more kind of young talent for the future. I'm not sure where we're going to invest it if we wanted to immediately improve the team, but it's there. I'm going to think about it over, I guess, the next few episodes, and we'll see where we're at and kind of where we might need strengthening. So let's have a look at our staff setup, because as I mentioned, I really kind of rejigged around the staff here, and as you can see, we have this fantastic new staff page in FM16, which allows us to compare everything. So we have 12 coaching staff members, and as you can see, we have the best coaching in every single category in the Premier League. The bars here represent, and this green line at the top represents the best club. The white line is the average, and then the worst in the Premier League is represented here. So we have the best in all coaching categories, which I will quickly show you guys here. So we go to training and coaches. The key attributes for each role differ slightly. I might do a video in the near future explaining this in a little bit more detail, but what you need to know is that essentially for every single one of these categories, there are 5 key attributes. The important ones worth remembering for them all are motivating, level of discipline, and determination. On top of that, for example, for shooting, the key attributes are attacking and technique or technical. So for example, if I just move myself onto shooting, you can see we have 5 stars because I have 20 in attacking and technical, and I also have really high ratings if we look at my manager profile in level of discipline, motivating, and determination. I'm basically the perfect attacking coach in that sense. I didn't show this last episode, so here's a quick look at my coaching setup. I just used the recommended values, I guess, for managing Liverpool. You can see our preferred formation is the formation, of course, that we've only used for one game. So that's kind of our coaching setup. It's the best for every category. Looking at our scouting setup, it's not really the best at the moment. It's above average, but it definitely needs some work over the coming years. There's plenty of slots here to bring in more scouts, so that's something we're going to press on with soon. Looking at our medical team, you can see we're not actually the best team in the league. Chelsea actually have the best, but we are as close to Chelsea as you could probably be. I have no doubts we have the second best kind of medical team in the league, so that's pretty pleasing. So the scouting area is the only way and only area, I guess, where we're let down. So looking at our coaching, at the moment I've got our focusing on tactical. At the moment we're just coaching 2 tactics. One is this tactic here, and the other is a 4-2-3-1. But this is the one that really matters, because the 4-2-3-1 is kind of, I guess, in case of emergencies. I don't think we're going to use it. Unlike some people in FM, I like to stick with the same system as often as possible. Our current match focus is teamwork. So between matches, we focus on our training as kind of our main team exercise, but before every game, we switch our attention, at least at the moment, to teamwork, just because with a lot of new signings, I like to have it so players are kind of familiar with each other and the system they're playing in. So that's a bit about our training setup. In terms of individual trainings, you can see some of the additional focuses here on my squad view. If you want to get this squad view, I'm going to be putting it up on the Steam Workshop. If it's not up at the time of this video going up, it will be up very, very soon. So if you want this view, check the description. There should be a link there. I'm not going to go through all of these players in a load of detail, but just to cover some of, I guess, the young prospects and where we're training them and why. We'll start with Joe Gomez here, If we look at his training, he's currently training as a left back. The reason for that being is I want him to be quite a resourceful player for us to have on the bench. His main kind of position is going to be centre back, I think. And as a result, I am training his heading, despite the fact I'm training him to play left back. I want him to be a good cover player for us there. For Thiago Maia, another one of the youngsters who we brought in. If we look at his training, I'm currently training his tactical because I want him to be an absolute rock in our midfield. He's going to be that big defensive player. I'm also training for him to play as a centre mid because we don't obviously use defensive mid in our formation, but he's pretty okay, I guess, at the moment at playing centre mid. He's already competent. He'll pick up that role fairly quickly. For Mbolo, our current training is quickness, just because I would like him to be that inch faster. I'm also training him to be a striker. Fairly standard here. We could go through loads of these players, but I mean, you can see a lot of the focuses here. Generally speaking, the players have been trained in roles relevant to the formation we're playing. So if you see a central attacking mid, chances are I'm training them in kind of the trequartista role, etc. Anyway, let's move on into today's game. It's going to be against Chelsea. It's our first real test away from home against obviously the champions of the league. In real life, they've struggled a little bit, but in this save, they look pretty strong. You can see here, John Terry out suspended. That could favour us a little bit. In their first game of the season, if we look here, they actually drew. Yeah, they drew 1-1 against Sunderland, which not the best result really, and they also lost in the Community Shield, so hopefully we can do something there. I didn't talk about it last episode, but in pre-season we won all but one game, so that was okay, but pre-season really doesn't mean too much and we can't read too much into it. In terms of the team for today's game, it's the exact same team as last match. No changes really to speak of. All the players in our starting 11 have 99 for match sharpness, and most people have just shy of 100 for condition. So that's good stuff. On the bench, not a lot changing either. The injuries are still kind of the same, I guess. I'm actually going to bring in Cataldi, the Italian centre mid who we paid 20 million for, and I'm going to bring him on for, controversially here, Joe Allen. Joe Allen's a good player, but I'd much rather give the younger players a chance on the bench to come on and really shine. So sorry Joe, but for this game at least you're not going to be featuring for us. So anyway, let's crack on into today's game. It's a big game, episode 2. It's our first real test, I guess, against a really strong team. It's going to be a challenge for us. I've just been asked about the fact that we've had an increased wage budget, so I'm going to tell the kind of interviewer that our chairman is a babe and he's given us loads of money. But yeah, I'm hopeful that we can do a good job here. We'll see how we get on going straight into this. My assistant has good kind of opposition instruction, kind of tactical knowledge and all that jazz, so I'm going to let him do all the hard work. I'm just going to go out there, give a nice team talk, and we are hopefully going to come away with 3 points. But we have got a tough start to the season because following this game, we have got Arsenal and Manchester United, I think, in the next 3 games, so we'll maybe do a double header for episode 3. So anyway, let's kick off. So as I said, hoping for a win. Same system as last game. We're going to stick with it. It worked well last time against Southampton. They didn't have a shot on goal, at least on target. I'm hoping for more of the same here, although Chelsea with an early set piece. This is going to be a bit of a test early on. Fabregas whipping in the ball. Can we stop it coming in? Of course we can. Who was that? Number 21, Firmino, doing his defensive duties. And now we're on the attack 1 minute in. It can't get much better than last game, can it really? 6-1 last game. Danny Ings with a chance. Danny Ings with a goal. We're winning at Stamford Bridge. It's Ings' second goal of the season. It's his 50th of his career. It's all going far too well at the moment. It's all going far too well. As I mentioned, we've got tough games coming up in Manchester United and Arsenal. Usually I perhaps wouldn't do this many episodes so early on in the season, but given the fact we have some really, really big key games this early on, I feel like it's really important to do them. Because, well, they're the games which could make or break the fact that we need to finish top 4 this year, and we do need to finish top 4. The chances are I will get sacked if we don't kind of reach that expectation, and I guess in not signing many first-team players, there's a bit more pressure perhaps on me to show that that was the right decision, as we score another own goal. We scored one last game as well, this time Skirtle, the culprit, makes it 1-1, and 5 minutes in, there's 2 goals, which is a little bit crazy. I love this. We've got a little Fabregas banner going on. I think that's something new this year. It's a nice little touch in FM16, being able to see banners for specific players. But yeah, at the moment, we're pretty much guaranteeing goals for anyone who watches our games. I'm hoping we can kind of bounce back here. Looking at it, 50-50 in the possession kind of areas. It's really close. Although Oscar on the attack here. Lays in Diego Costa. Mignolet with a big save. A player who... There's perhaps some question marks over Mignolet. Is he good enough for a top 4 side? If he can pull off saves like that in these big games, he will be worth it today. Klein looking injury prone. That's a little bit of a concern because really in the right back position, there isn't too much competition to him. Of course, we have got Joe Gomez who can play right back, and we have got Flanagan who's out with a long-term injury who can play there. But with the exception of those players, there isn't a load of options. So if Klein starts to have a dip in form, it's not like we have a immediate first team option to just slot in his place, I guess. But anyway, another set piece here. We've dealt with it well there, but Hazard at the edge of the area, easily Chelsea's best player in Football Manager. Can we stop him getting the ball? We can. Well, we can't really. It's gone to Oscar. Hazard with a chance here. Don't let him get the shot away. Tackle goes flying in. Fabregas on a yellow card. Maybe worth noting that. Maybe we can... get him sent off. I don't want to say it too brutally, but if there was an option here for me to tell my players to wind up Fabregas, I'd be ticking that option right now. Looking at it kind of rating-wise, it's been a bit of a so-so game. It's been very, very tight. The stats are pretty much even in terms of who's having what. Chelsea have had 2 clear-cut chances, so they've made the most of the ball they've had, but they've only scored 1 goal from it. And given the fact that last game we only had 2 clear-cut chances, I think, or maybe even 1, and scored 6, we know we're capable of getting goals in a game where perhaps we don't have a ton of real kind of clear kind of cut, I guess, opportunities. Anyway, at half-time, I'm going to slate the players. I'm not happy. I'm not going to add any more, I don't think, because we've got a pretty good reaction here. Players are fired up. I don't want players to be happy. I want them to want more, and the fact that at 1-1 at Stamford Bridge, me telling them I'm not happy and they're reacting positively to that really gives you an idea of how good the atmosphere is in the changing rooms. This year in FM16, the kind of squad personality of the, I guess, first team players can rub off onto youngsters in the team. So the fact that we've got this fairly determined atmosphere is really going to benefit a lot of the younger players I'm bringing into the side who are going to be playing in the first team, because they're going to get that little bit of kind of the squad personality, I guess, rub off on them. Anyway, looking at it here, Chelsea making the first changes of the game. It's still 1-1 in the 60th minute. If it gets to about 70 minutes and it's still even, I'm probably going to make some changes as well. Fabregas gets a goal. Sigurdsson putting in the ball. Chelsea take a lead. And now we have to make some changes. And this is perhaps where we're not in such a great situation, because right now, obviously, we're missing Sturridge, which is a big miss, and we've got a few younger players on the bench. We're going to make the changes, though. I'm going to bring on Cataldi and Embolo, so 2 of the young players we brought in. These 2 players, combined total of £40 million paid. These are the kind of games where, with their age, you perhaps won't expect as much from them. But given the amount of money that we've paid for these 2 guys, it's pretty vital that to kind of, I guess, repay that value. Not only do they have to develop long-term into key players, but in these kind of matches, I need them to put in performances. I need them to, make a difference where possible. So I'm hoping we're going to see that here. There's only 20 minutes left. But Chelsea, they've had a few set pieces which they've made the most of. Although we might have a break here as Embolo, the new player, has the ball. I said we need to see something from him. He's got 4 players ahead of him. But he picks out the pass quite nicely. And that can we build? We've lost the opportunity to break quickly. But there is still a chance here as Emre Can will spread the ball to Cataldi, one of the subs, who gives the ball away. Now, I'm looking at you, sir. I can't even click on him. He's running too fast. I'm looking at him to make a difference here. And he will win the ball there, I think. Unfortunately, though, Luan with a chance. Although we've dealt with that almost immediately while he makes another save. Chelsea with 4 clear-cut chances. This has been a very, very disappointing performance, all things considering. We scored early on. I was feeling confident. But since then, we've not done enough with the ball. We've not really, despite being in this game in terms of possession, despite having a few shots, we've not had enough clear-cut ones. Although we're on the attack here, Emre Can deflected away there, but Camarena whipping a ball. He can. It's cleared away, but Cataldi! Well, I said he needed to make an impact, and he's hit the post. If that hits the back of the net, I'm jumping up and down thinking it's the best signing of all time. Unfortunately, though, it's not. It's not gone in. We're going to take off Lucas for Maya. Same subs as last game as well, but of the players I signed, I certainly see Cataldi, Maya and Embolo as players who need first team football this year to develop. Realistically, I'm not really striving to win the league. That is what Chelsea are going to be looking to do, but, well, given some of the chances we had, I wish we could have put up more of a fight, because 2-1 is a disappointing way to go. I'm going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. They've reacted well to that, which is pleasing. Hopefully we can see a improvement in our form. That might seem a little bit bizarre given we've only played 2 games, but really, if we want to finish top 4 this year, we're going to have to beat one of the top 4 teams consistently, in both fixtures we play, maybe 2 or 3 of them. If we look at our fixtures coming up, Manchester United and Arsenal are the next 2 big ones. I'm probably going to live com the 2 games separately, but we'll skip the period in between because there is an international break. But those are certainly going to be 2 games that you guys do not want to miss. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up this episode from me. A little bit disappointed in the result. I'm looking forward to seeing how we can spend that money that we've been given by the board. Hopefully we can, sign a few players who can make a difference more immediately, I think. That's what we're going to be looking to do with the money. As always, if you've enjoyed this episode, smash the like button. If you're new here, subscribe. The playlist for this series down in the top of the description. And other than that, guys, it is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.